How to fix Chelsea. It's obvious. Give Sarri his cigarettes. He hasn't been the same since he lost them. And my hair, what the hell's going on here? Sorry about that. Hello everyone, and welcome to Rabona TV's weekend recap. You already know the rules of this game. Top 4 leagues plus a bonus league. It's Monday. Mondays can be brutal, but why not start it off right with the Rabona TV weekend recap? Make a habit of starting Monday off with me by hitting that subscribe button, or don't. That's fine too. Your call. And also, why don't you make a habit of being in the know regarding everything football thanks to our sponsors, One Football. All the latest news, they got it. Match highlights? Yep. Customizable news feeds? Yes. Live match tickers? Obviously. Free download? Hell yeah, man. Link in the description to said free download for either iOS or Android. Support the channel by supporting them. Spain to start, and hey, did you watch my Roots of the Rivalry video on the Madrid Derby? If you did, then you would have seen that this edition of the Derby was a great encapsulation of what this historic rivalry has played out to be in the past. Madrid come out on top, Atletico with some bad luck in some cases, and they end up being the loser to their rivals. Real looked good in this match. Benzema in particular impressed me as he was clean in possession and his distribution was great. The man of the match, however, was undoubtedly Casemiro, as he not only scored a great opener, but embodied the grit that all players should have during a local derby. So, Madrid found themselves 2-1 up at the half. Morata was starved of any chances against his former team in the first, but in the second half he would get them. He missed a decent chance, and then Morata scored an incredible chip that had Ray Hudson screaming like a banshee after a root canal.
As electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub, my friend.
Or, had Ray Hudson squealing like eggs on a cast iron pan. That one was shit, but I could totally picture him saying that.
This has got more curves to it than Jessica Rabbit on steroids.
Here we go. Last one. How about this one? Had Ray Hudson screaming like... Oh! God, I love Ray Hudson. Can we start a Ray Hudson appreciation thread in the comments, please, boys? Hit me with your best Hudsonisms, your creations, or just your faves from him. Use the hashtag HudLove for me.
Whose heart was bursting. Enrique Casillas. Will you stop talking about tennis players and stupid Hollywood actors, Phil?
But anyways, the thing was, Morata was offside for his goal. Because that's what Morata has been this season. A dude who is perpetually offside, and a guy who blows good chances. Unfortunate for him, and when Bale came on, he killed the game with what was his 100th Real Madrid goal. Big win for Real, who are really picking up a good head of steam going into the Champions League and a pretty dicey schedule. Solari, man, he's got that 4-3-3 down, the one that's bear fruit for Zidane in the past. Barcelona were held to a 0-0 draw with Athletic Bilbao, in which I thought Bilbao were the better team. Ter Stegen made to work again in this one to save Barcelona the blushes. I guess saving them the blushes is harsh on Bilbao, actually, as they have really improved under Gaisca Garitano. But yeah, according to Opta Jose, Ter Stegen has saved 30 of the last 34 shots he's faced in La Liga. But remember, guys, he's not that good, you know. I still don't understand people who still say that. Valencia, they gotta... Go on. You know what Valencia got this week? It's what they always get. Yes, that's right. Valencia drew 0-0. Sevilla drew 2-2. And Getafe getting a win means that the table looks as follows. Real Madrid has leapfrogged Atletico into second, and Barcelona dropped points 2 weeks in a row, meaning that they only have a 6-point lead over Real Madrid now. Ooh. It's getting fun over there. Italia, Italia, the land where everyone in the top 8 got great results. Well, besides perhaps Napoli, as they were held to a draw with Fiorentina, which they can't really afford if they ever want to have even the notion of perhaps catching up to Juve become something more than just a chance. But other than that, we had Inter getting a 1-0 win against Parma thanks to substitute Lautaro Martinez. AC Milan, ever since they picked up Piatek and Paqueta, they have looked quite decent. Piatek scored his 4th goal in 3 appearances for the Rossoneri, and while it wasn't an absolute beauty, he still had that patience and presence of mind to slot it between the Cagliari defense instead of just blasting it on goal and mucking it up. Gattuso said that this guy was like a robot that only wants to score goals, and so far, for both Genoa and Milan, that's what he's done. 15 in the league, 2 behind Ronaldo. Or 3 behind Ronaldo. Yeah. Speaking of Ronaldo, he smashed a couple today. Only one of those smashes was a goal, however, as the first smash was the attempted decapitation of Monsieur Sami Khedira. That'll teach him for scoring goals. But Ronaldo headed from a corner in the second half and then set up Emre Can for the third. That was a beautifully worked goal, by the way, and that means that Ronaldo has now scored 18 goals and has 7 assists. Atalanta also continued their unbeaten run, which stands at 6 matches now. After taking a 1-match break from scoring, Duvan Zapata was back at it again with a goal and an assist in their 2-1 win over Spal, and so the table goes as follows. Juve with an 11-point lead over Napoli, Milan hop over Roma, and are now just 4 points behind their city rivals. Nice to see AC Milan getting up there again. Still nowhere close to a title challenge, but bully time, guys. Bully as in Bundesliga, not the game made by Rockstar. Anyway, Dortmund is having a tough time keeping the ball out of their own net as of late, as they had their second consecutive 3-3 draw, this time with Hoffenheim. The most disappointing thing has got to be the fact that they were leading 3-0 with the end in sight, leaked a goal in the 75th, and then Hoffenheim scored twice in the last 7 minutes of the match via Kaderabek and Belfodil. Sloppy match management by Dortmund, but credit to Hoffenheim and especially substitute Belfodil with the brace. Thankfully for Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach, the team that was on their tail, also had a fudge up this weekend as they lost 3-0 to Hertha Berlin. However, that's where their luck ran out. Dortmund's luck ran out as Bayern Munich took on Schalke 04 and easy peasy, as Schalke were pretty useless in this match and Bayern got the 3-1 victory. Robert Lewandowski, decent. We'll call it decent form as he got a goal and an assist, but the real man in form here has got to be Serge Gnabry. 3 goals in 2 matches for him now. So, look at the table now. Dortmund's lead has been cut down to just 5 points. They're not really going to lose the league, are they? Gladbach are 3 points behind Bayern. RB Leipzig rounds out the top 4, etc., etc. By the way, RB Leipzig, look at that defense. 18 goals against. Damn. Better than anyone. In the Premier League, I know what you want me to talk about. I know what you desire, but I'm not going to do it. Not yet. Hey! Don't skip ahead. That's cheating. United got the weekend started off, and by their accounts, they got it started off right. They couldn't have asked for a better opponent to play against going into their Champions League clash against PSG next week, as United made light work of Fulham at Craven Cottage. Paul Pogba's fingerprints were all over this match once again as he scored the first from a decent angle, Martial with the second, and then Pogba added a third from the penalty spot. When will they start calling him Penogba? Just curious, because everybody knows that being prolific from the penalty spot is worthy of attracting negative connotations about you and your goal production. Aren't football fans the best? Soon people are going to be on Pogba for scoring penalties. Anyway, Pogba under Solskjaer is a different animal as he's now scored 8 goals and contributed with 5 assists under the caretaker manager across all competitions. Also, he's having his best season, at least by the numbers, as for the first time in his career, he scored 10 plus league goals. And finally, last word on United, after Jose Mourinho said, prior to his sacking, obviously, that it would take a, quote, miracle to get this United side into the top 4, Solskjaer's done it, and it took him just under 2 months. Watford handed Everton their latest L, and yet another goal conceded from a set piece for Marco Silva's side and their 1-0 loss. In fact, this dude has got to be one of the most incompetent managers when it comes to setting his teams up to defend from set pieces, as at this point in the season, the only 2 teams to historically have worse records from defending set pieces were Marco Silva's Watford and Marco Silva's Hull. Mind you, he inherited that Hull team, so take from that what you will. What's undeniable though is that Everton are free falling right now. From their last 13 matches, they have won 4 and lost 9. Time to bring back Big Sam, right? Better yet, take it back to the golden years. Let's see David Moyes back at Everton. Hey boys! Moyes' boys. The Arsenal went away to bottom boys Huddersfield, absolute bottom boys, winless in 13 now. And Arsenal secured the bag with a 2-1 win. My man Lacazette scored what was the eventual winner in this one, his 10th in the Prem so far. Not much to say here really. 2-1 win against the bottom of the league boys that Chelsea smacked up 5-0. Speaking of Chelsea and smack ups, not yet. I'm a tease. I'll make you wait for it. Liverpool hosted the hard-to-read Bournemouth at Anfield, and it was a routine win for Liverpool, and probably the kind of performance that their fans have been hoping for lately. Sure, it's Bournemouth. They're a strange team, hard to get a read on, like I said. It was less about the scoreline and more about the performance in this one, as Liverpool controlled this match pretty well, getting first half goals from Mane and Wijnaldum. Salah hit his 17th in the second half. Gravy, a nice bowl of scouse for the fans to chow down on. Okay, I'll stop. I've still got the Ray Hudson trying to make metaphors in my head thing going on. And it was a sumptuous bowl of gravy. Okay.
Messi!
Spurs. Last week I asked you if Heung-min Son has been Tottenham's most important player so far this season, and the boy only went ahead and furthered the claim with another goal. Granted, it was a goal in the 91st minute when the match had pretty much been won because Leicester was pushing forward, but still. Spurs were perhaps outplayed at times against Leicester. Man, Leicester have been putting in some good performances lately. In this one, they created 19 chances for themselves, but they just can't finish. And Spurs ended up on top with a 3-1 win. And finally, City versus Chelsea. And again, if you'll indulge me here. Pathetic. Affecting or moving the feelings, especially those of pity and sorrow. Affecting the emotions of pity and sorrow. That about sums up Chelsea's performance today. Anyone who watched it could have seen that these teams weren't even on the same planet. City had David Silva and Leroy Sané on the bench, are still without Benjamin Mendy, and yet they still absolutely smashed Chelsea. Of course, as they're wont to do, City scored an early goal, should have had a second, if not for Aguero getting his wires crossed, yada yada yada. They scored a lot of goals, guys. 6-0 was the final, and it could have been so much more. Aguero got his second hat-trick in consecutive weekends, because remember, they played against Everton midweek, taking him level with Alan Shearer's record of 11 hat-tricks in the Premier League era. Where does Aguero fit in top Premier League strikers of all time? Raheem Sterling was incredible with his brace. Zinchenko was great, filling in at left back again. Bernardo Silva was a joy to watch once again, etc, etc, etc. But for me, this comes down to Maurizio Sarri. So again, stubborn, unreasonably obstinate, not to be persuaded, obdurate, inflexible, intractable, refractory. Or Maurizio Sarri so far at Chelsea. Again, he has foregone the calls of his own fans, probably some of his staff now, and has continued to push his style that is getting found out time and time again. After the match, he said that he's still not going to change how they play. Drop Jorginho. What is he adding to this team besides sideways passes? Play Conte in his preferred position. When Sarri made a substitution, it was Barkley for Kovacic. How does that change anything? If I could quote myself from Twitter, sorry, you're 4-0 down, why not take your boys Jorginho off, slide Kante into his favorite position, and see what Kovacic and Barkley can create if you wanted to bring Kovacic on so badly. Change something, do something different. You have nothing to lose. A like-for-like sub does nothing here. When you're 4 going on 5-0 down, going on 6-0 down, is that not the best time to try to experiment? Why keep on pushing your same tactics that simply do not work? What does that do for the morale of the team when you're getting pumped and your manager just insists on doing the same thing over and over? No, guys, the same thing again. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Shout out to Far Cry 3.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
The way he walked down the tunnel without shaking Pep's hand looked bad on him, though I'm sure he just wanted to get the fuck out of there and consider whether he should resign or not. That or smoke an entire pack of cigarettes and ash them all out on his players' belongings in the dressing room. So, Chelsea fans, what do you want at this point? It's clear Sarri wants his plan A to work before he moves on to plan B. Pep, to be fair, did the same thing with City when he finished third in his first season, and they didn't win a single trophy. The only time he's failed to do so. Jurgen Klopp finished, 8th? In his first season with Liverpool, well, 3/4 of a season. But the difference here is Guardiola and Klopp both have pedigree in that they've actually won trophies before. Sarri hasn't. He has a chance to do so this season, although one of those matches will be against the team that just beat them 6-0, and if he doesn't win and they fail to get top 4, it will end in embarrassment for him. Live by the Sarri ball, die by the Sarri ball. Take away his cigarettes, take away his powers. Yes, I'm going to talk about the Portuguese League again because, and I'm sure you'll agree, but something exceptional has happened. After Porto were held to a 1-1 draw on Friday and Braga won early on Sunday, that meant that if Benfica could get the win... This sounds funny, I'm sure, for those who know what happened already. If Benfica could get the win against Nacional, they would move back into second place, just 1 point behind Porto. Well, they did get the win, and how? Let's get this out of the way first. Nacional were terrible, an absolute embarrassment out there as they looked worse than some Sunday League team. But we also have to give a ton of credit to Bruno Lage as he has really turned this team around, most notably in the attack with the partnership of João Felix and Seferovic looking unstoppable. Pizzi is back to his best, Grimaldo is always a threat, etc. etc, etc. The defense is looking decent too, and we're getting some young players in there. 10-0 was the final. And my guy Yuri was there to take it in, and he said the atmosphere was sick. And he even proved it to me with some videos he sent my way. Thanks for that, Yuri, and it got me thinking, do any of you regularly go to matches, or at least semi-regularly? Because I'd love to include your match videos in the weekend recap. If there are a few of you that do go to matches regularly, maybe I'll set up a submissions inbox so I can include your content if you're up for it. Anyways, that was the biggest win in the Portuguese top flight since 1964, 55 years ago, and the last team to do it was also Benfica in 1964 against Seixal. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words still. Hey Google, look up some Benfica versus Nacional analysis for me, please.
What? Is that 10?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Jimmy. So the title race now looks like this. Porto on 51 points. Those draws are starting to hurt them a bit. Benfica on 50, Braga on 49, who everyone is sleeping on, and with their 3-1 win, Sporting are in 4th on 42 points. Sporting and Braga play each other next, and it will be lit. Next week, we will not talk about Portugal, and a different league will be the bonus league, but it's just so juicy there with that title race, man. If you want a legit title race, watch what's going on in Portugal. Although the Premier League is decent right now with Liverpool and City. All right, I've said my piece. Now you say yours in the comments section. Should Chelsea go ahead and create a little smoking box in the technical area for Sarri? Could be worth a try at this point. Anyways, I'm your guy Adrian. I hope you have a great Monday, and let's get some Ray Hudson comments going in the chat, boys. Hashtag HudLove, and I would love that. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed it, or hit the dislike if you didn't, and I'll catch you in a watch along on Tuesday for Manchester United versus PSG. Be there or don't. Peace.